What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I've ever heard.
Welcome to another episode of Talking Busch. This is an all Busch League edition. We do have 9 members here, maybe joined by 1 or 2 more. We'll see. Let's take a little whirl around this dial and let's check out how everyone's been doing. Matt, we've heard from you lately. How you been doing?
Oh, same shit, different day.
Still quarantined?
No, recently out of quarantine as of last Friday. Went to Menards to celebrate.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, it was pretty great. Got some clamps on sale. $24 for an 8-pack. Thought it was a great deal.
Oh, good for you.
Snagged it.
You're so hot right now.
I know.
You're growing up.
Yeah, it was an exciting day.
Around the horn here to Drew. Drew, how's COVID life treating you?
Well, we're currently on lockdown, so we got tested 3 kids. 2 are negative. We're still waiting for 1 more. Hopefully we get that negative test tomorrow and we'll be free. But until then.
Confidence is high. Repeat, confidence is high.
2 for 3.
Phil, you've filled in on a few Talking Busch, so you kind of know what's going to happen here. How you doing tonight?
Great. It's good to see so many of the league members on the podcast here tonight. But I'm doing well, and I think I've shared this on here before. But my wife gets tested like once a week, so I don't ever have to get tested, and I just know I don't have it, basically. So it's a great setup.
Oh, good for you.
Must be nice. Dave Pikus, I see a little small deer behind you.
Pretty small, just a little guy.
Oh, good for you.
How you doing tonight, Dave?
I'm well, very well. No lockdowns. I've been tested 4 times, negatives all the way around the board.
Woo!
Recently traveled up to what?
Nothing. Go ahead. Sorry.
Recently traveled up to Leech Lake. Stayed on reservation land, so I had a little bit of freedom from the tyrant, Mr. Walls. So just enjoying life.
That sounds wonderful. Wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
I see a bearded lumberjack there, Tim Grieve. How you been?
I'm good. I'm nervous. I'm a rookie. And I feel like if we're going to announce COVID testing, I get tested like minimum 3 times, sometimes 5 times a week. And I'm testing about 200 people every other day.
Oh, good for you.
That's the worst. You win the worst thing.
Yeah. And people suck. I trust nobody because I have to contact trace and everybody lies to me.
that sounds
No, I wasn't. I didn't do anything. I stayed home.
Yeah. And then an hour later they call me and I feel bad. I was with this person last week.
Max Aponte, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Just glad to see all you guys.
Are you COVID free, Max?
As of right now, today, yes. Only been tested once, but other than that, everything's going good.
Good. Adam, your fingers look exceptionally long.
Thank you. Yeah.
No wonder you were able to reel in a girl like Tamara.
Woohoo! Good one.
Whoa.
How's life treating you, bud?
Magic fingers. So. Life's good. Honestly, COVID hasn't changed my life that much. We weren't going out. We weren't doing a lot of traveling. So it's kind of living the same life. So
that's depressing. Why did you bring that
up? Don't have kids. Ruins everything.
Wow.
Good to know.
This is being recorded.
Yeah. This is live on the internet.
Last but not least so far, here's Todd Train. Todd, new guy to the league, new guy to the podcast. Welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here. Life is good. No complaints here.
And
What's,
representing well all the way from Eastern Washington with the Gopher wrestling
That's
and the
right.
Yeah, how's your wonderful wife doing with COVID?
So far so good. They've been fortunate. They've had some cases, contact traced to them, but all of our tests have come back negative so far. So fingers crossed it stays that way. She's actually had one shot so far. She gets the second one this week. So looking forward to that.
Yeah. Yeah. Anybody else got the vaccine?
I got one shot today, actually.
Oh, good for you.
How is your reception? Are you able to make phone calls pretty easily now?
What's that?
How's your reception?
Classic. As he's asking how the reception is, it's not good. Let's just skate right into the into the meaty subject. Does anybody own GameStop stock? GameStop stock?
Can't imagine why you would.
I do own some stock in GameStop.
GameStop, right?
Stop.
GameStop.
You know what?
Matt, you
So
may
why
want
and how?
to check the old interwebs regarding GameStop and their stock.
Whoa.
Now.
What happened?
Yeah, what happened?
What
I've
do you
heard a
see?
little bit about this, but somebody's got to fill me in on what the deal was with this.
I'll give you a brief synopsis. So last week, a few people on Reddit, on a forum called Wall Street Bets, were discussing how GameStop was extremely shorted, meaning that hedge firms were basically betting against GameStop stock. There was not that much stock out there. And so people on Wall Street Bets decided that they would buy all of GameStop's stock and see what happened. On January 21st, the stock was exploding. It was up to $38. This was from $4 earlier last year. Yesterday, it closed at $76. Today it closed at $147. After hours trading, $209.
Whoa! What is this? Tesla?
Adam?
No, it's people just being spiteful.
It's very, very spiteful. Adam, how much GameStop do you own?
I own 2 shares. I bought one at 110, and I bought one at 99.
All right, so you're up like $200.
Yeah, just today.
Minus commissions.
No commissions.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
There's no such
yeah.
thing as
Right.
commissions anymore, basically, with all the main
That's
companies,
right. That's
which is
right.
kind of nice.
Yeah.
The main shark behind this on Wall Street Bets bought up $55,000 worth of stocks last year when it was $4.
Wow.
He at closing today was worth $22 million.
Wow.
And keep in mind, it went from 147 to 209 after closing. So he's probably in the 30s.
That is wild.
Do you just cash that out tomorrow?
You'd be tempted to, but at the same time, if you're worth 30, don't you want to be worth like 100?
Yeah.
I think I would like sell half of it.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely consider offloading some. Do you think he asked himself the question?
If it's easier, you can just put it on a GameStop gift card.
What's the ticker symbol?
GME.
GME.
Adam, take us through today watching that ticker symbol.
Today was a fun day, because it just skyrocketed. It just it started out at the 77, and then it slowly climbed throughout the day. About 1 o'clock, I broke even. My average share price is 105, so that was big for me. That I wasn't in the red anymore. and then it was up to what Derek said, 177 at close.
147
And
at
as
close,
soon as it
which
closed,
felt good.
Yeah, felt great. I was thinking about selling. Like, hey, that was a good day. Made a couple $100. And after it closed, it just skyrocketed. It just, I had my phone on me all day, and it would just go up and down, but mostly up, within a matter of seconds. With each update, it updates about every second. The price would change about $1. So go 222, 221, 222, 223. And I saw it up to 240, which was phenomenal. And as you can see, just
Look at
straight
that
up.
upward trajectory. I believe they call this to the moon.
Look at these bars on down here, the volume, people trading it every day, and then all of a sudden just boom.
How long have you owned any stock? When did you buy in on each of your 2 shares there, Adam?
Must have been
I bought
right in
yesterday.
here somewhere.
Yep.
Hold on,
Bought yesterday morning at 110, yesterday afternoon at 99. And I wasn't feeling good yesterday when I went to bed because it was 77. I mean, it wasn't. I had lost money yesterday.
Look at that. Look at that.
Well, that
Yesterday.
was, I fell for that trap.
Yeah. Yesterday opened at 97, traded up to 160, traded down to 60, and then closed at 77.
We ran the full range of emotions yesterday.
That's unreal.
Derek, do you own any GameStop stock?
I do. So I did buy one at open yesterday. I had to read a lot over the weekend about this and about the short squeeze and what was projected to happen. So I bought a stock yesterday at open. It immediately fell about $10 to 88. I was like, I can't pass up that deal. We'll buy that. I bought another one in the 92 range. It climbed and climbed and climbed all the way up to 167, as you saw. And I was like, well, I don't want to miss this rocket. I better buy one more. I fired off at about 115, and then of course it plummeted. And so I was not thrilled, but like any full-on stockbroker would tell you, always double down. And so when it hit 61, I bought again. And I decided that was enough for me. And then I just packed it in and waited. Felt decent about it this morning as it rose and was in the 80s. I was like, hey, I can make my money back at least. And then the rest of the day was a straight roller coaster to the top. We're like we're hitting towards like the top of the wild thing right now. When it drops off, I don't know, but it's been a fun ride.
So the question to why would you is because Wall Street Bets is literally cornering it right now.
Correct. Yeah, they're
wild.
I mean, if you read on there, they're basically all, we're not selling until this thing is $1,000. And there's a decent chance based on the amount of stock, which is not a ton, and the amount of stock that's shorted, which is a lot, that it could get there. I don't know that it will. That's a fun dream, but it's a wild ride.
Derek, can you explain what the shorting means and how that's going to affect the share price?
Basically, these hedge fund companies are betting against the business, and so they're betting that stocks won't go to certain prices. When they do, they have to guarantee a stock to the person that took that bet. Essentially, their early bets were extremely cheap, like a penny, 2 pennies, essentially to bet that it'll never get to $60. Well, Wall Street Bets made that happen, and in return for that penny bet that people basically bet against that hedge fund, they get the $60 stock. When there is no stock available, which is what is happening now, they basically have to keep buying higher and higher, and that's what's happening. That's your short squeeze.
They have to buy it so that it will stop trading higher because they
Correct.
need to get more shares under them.
Correct.
Yeah. Reason why they shorted in the first place was because it's a brick and mortar video game store, and every new online console, you download the game and you
Right.
don't need the disc anymore.
Yeah, it's basically Blockbuster, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just a ton of
It
brick
makes
and mortar
total sense
locations.
what they thought they were doing, but it's
I do get a little bit of pleasure in a bunch of freaking renegades on a subreddit sticking it to the man.
it's delicious.
I get a little bit of pleasure out of that. I'm not gonna lie.
Yep.
Well, this is the new Robin Hood strategy. This is the shit that's been going on all of COVID. They just learned how to weaponize it.
That's
with
great.
this one.
I just think it's great. I don't know that I would stick 55 grand into it, but I still think it's awesome.
Derek, do you know the name of the hedge fund or the borrower that got that?
Yeah,
That
it's
55,000?
deep fucking value, which
Why
I
not
also
invest
think
with
is
him?
great. So if you wanna follow,
Well, that's
Deep-
his Reddit name.
That's
That's
his
not
Reddit
his
name. Yeah, I don't know his real name.
company.
Yeah, if you want to follow along with Deep fucking Value and see how much he pulls in, just find that guy on Reddit. He posts pretty much daily updates now of what his portfolio looks like. And I would never have done it, but I am a little jealous.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
What app or what do you use to buy? It's not on the cash app.
Personally I use Fidelity.
Oh,
I believe Adam's a
the
Robin
champ is
Hood.
here.
I'm a Robin Hood guy. Yep.
What is that, Adam?
What I use is called Robin Hood. So it's an app and it's super easy. So
got it.
It's basically, because I can't go to a casino to gamble, this is my lottery ticket. And
I mean, you can go to casinos to gamble. That's open. That never closed.
We're looking to cash them. I get it, Dave, but I try to be safe with COVID and all.
Wear your mask.
Trevor doesn't have his video on, so we don't see that it's Easton giving.
it's not gonna fall for that trick again.
Let's
There
shift
he is.
over.
Hold on,
Look at this guy.
hold on. We got to hold on one sec. Give me 1 second.
The champ is here! The champ is here!
That's right. I'm here.
The champ is here!
Thanks for the introduction.
Welcome, Trevor.
What's up, man?
Where is Easton anyway?
Yeah.
He's just heading to bed. He's doing research for next year already.
Good.
As he should be.
Mm-hmm.
So we're screwed.
Yeah, we're screwed.
He doesn't need to do that much research in this league, apparently. That's
Trevor, I don't feel like you miss much unless you own a shit ton of GameStop stock.
No, I do not.
That's
So we're
unfortunate.
good.
Well, you're still poor then. That's the conclusion, it seems like.
Let's shift focus. Let's talk a little NFL playoffs. Let's talk about the first game, Bucks Packers first. I don't know about you guys, but I just loved that entire game. Just watching that whole thing. Great game, and basically the ending that I would have always wanted for Aaron Rodgers as a Packer.
Yeah, it was. I felt a little bit like I kind of wanted the Buccaneers to just like stick it to them. So when they kept turning the ball over in the second half, I was a bit frustrated by that. But,
Sure, but for me, this was you stab him, and he thinks he's going to come back, and pull the knife out and turn it on you, and then right at the end you just twist it a little bit.
Yeah, it was satisfying. It was very satisfying.
How great was that play at the end of the first half? That last second touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
That was
Big
amazing.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, Scotty Miller is fast, by the way.
Yeah,
Sneaky
but
fast.
I mean, who cares how fast he is, really, in that situation?
Cannot let him behind you. Yeah.
No, come on.
Terrible defensive call. Was Greg Williams tanking for a draft pick or?
No.
Is it Greg Williams? Is that the same guy from?
I'm being
Stargate?
sarcastic, referencing the Jets game that got him fired.
Oh, sure. I got it.
Yeah. See, I'm playing chess while you guys are all just playing checkers.
Packers defense
joke,
was
Eric.
horrible though. I think it wasn't the Bucks were like on third down were like 7 out of their first 8 third downs in the first half or something like that. I mean, they couldn't stop him. It was, I mean, Tom Brady's good, but the Packers
Yeah, I think they were
soft as hell.
5 for 5 to start the game on third down
Yeah.
in that first drive, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And a couple of them were over 10 yards too. It was like 3rd and 13 a couple times, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the last series that the Packers had the ball. First of all, third down, Aaron Rodgers rolls out. Why didn't he run? Was that like Brett Favre 2009? Did they like forget that that's an option? Like just stumble a few yards.
I think he was locked on that receiver the whole time. Like as soon as he started to roll, he was locked on that receiver and he was making that pass no matter what.
Yeah, I think the answer is obvious. I mean, Aaron Rodgers can't make the big play. He's just not a very good quarterback.
I gotta ask, man.
I would disagree with that.
Stage, right?
Yeah,
Is this this is airing in Minnesota, right? So.
we're going live. Kirk Cousins for Aaron Rodgers, would you?
Yeah.
I mean,
100%.
Cousins is younger, so I don't know. Would you give that up?
Yes.
He's got youth on his side.
Cousins has his own cereal. I haven't had any Rogers flakes, so
Fair
You
point.
get good insurance with Rodgers.
I think Charch's poll, it was 13% today would pick Cousins over Aaron Rodgers.
I believe that those 13%, about 12 of them are trolling.
Yeah.
And there's
Super rubes.
1% rubes out there.
Yeah.
Follow-up play to Aaron Rodgers deciding not to run that ball. Matt LaFleur
Cram it up your cram hole, LaFleur.
decides that they'd probably be best off kicking a field goal when they're up 8 or down 8. Todd, how would you draw that up if you were the head coach of the Green Bay Packers?
I'd let Aaron Rodgers make a play.
Phil?
Well,
Considering
it's
the last coach just got fired for being too conservative. But
yeah, and it's one thing that you're giving the ball back to Tom Brady, right? But the other thing is, even if you get the ball back, you have to drive against this Bucks defense again, which had been pretty good all game. So here's your chance where you actually got down into the red zone. And do you think that's going to happen again in 45 seconds? Probably not.
you either have to score one touchdown or you have to score one touchdown and a field goal.
Yeah. So
Yeah, right.
That's a silly choice.
Trevor, you're a championship coach. Do you agree with their strategy?
I do. Especially, I would also maybe add that the Packers defense isn't great. I think they're good, but they're not great. So it's not like you can guarantee they're going to stop Tom Brady that next possession too. So,
Grieve, when the Packers decided to trot out Mason Crosby to kick the field goal, that second, what was your feeling?
I don't know. Tough question.
That's a hot take.
They should have kind of corner coffin punted. Play the field position game.
This is why he's not on Talking Bush.
So I was sitting there watching with John Pikus, and he was livid of why you would run a kicker out there, because you're basically putting a nail in your own coffin. But like, to Trevor's point, or the opposite side of Trevor's point, they had just stopped them 3 of the last 4 drives on defense. They are at home with fans, so they get a little bit of home field advantage there on defense. And you have 4 timeouts if you include the 2-minute warning. Like, I get why you did it. I don't agree with it. You got to go for a touchdown there.
Yeah.
And see where the lumps get you.
Does anybody know, like, what does the book say or whatever? Because they're all on those.
Supposedly it gave them a 2.5% better chance of winning. It went from 27.5. But I was going to say, that's why you go for it, though, too, right? Because otherwise you turn the ball over on the 8-yard line. Then you got to expect that you're going to get another chance to stop them. Like, if you're going for it, at least you have a shot to tie the game up with one pass, or you hold them for defense, and then you get another to go for it again.
Yeah, that's my exact reason why you do go for it, is your field position is going to be better if you don't get it. And you stop them and they punt, just like, you have to anyways. Than it would be if you kick off, they return it to the 30, whatever, they get 5-10 yards and go from there. But
I also think that the psychology of the coach, a lot of these guys, it tends to be, you just go with what the conventional, kind of the conservative conventional wisdom is, because that's less likely to get you in trouble. But in the case of, you have Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers has been with the Packers for 20 years, and the fan base is hungry for a Super Bowl because they've got, one of the best quarterbacks in NFL history. I actually think it's safer to put it on his shoulders. You know what I mean? From a coaching standpoint, to just put it on his shoulders and say, listen, Aaron Rodgers is the man. We all know this. He's got to go out and be the man. And if he's not, then we're going to lose. And that is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, with the way that roster is made up, I think you're way better off playing it that way.
Yep.
Cram it up your cram holder, Lord.
Yep. So Tom Brady makes his 10th Super Bowl. He is unquestionably the greatest of all time. I do have a question though for you guys. Drew, we'll start with you. Do you think it's harder to go to 10 Super Bowls or win 6?
Yes to both. Obviously. I think that's a hell of a question. I mean, it's incredible that he's gone to 10 and 9 with one with the other, right? From both divisions. To win 6, I guess what is that? So right now, what is 6 of 9? I wonder about winning percentages. I mean,
be 2/3.
Yeah, 2/3, but
like you worked at a bank or something.
Yeah, good math. So I'd say it's probably more difficult to get to the big game, because then once you get to the big game, it's one game to win there.
Dave, you seem to disagree.
No, I mean, I think just the same. To have a championship team, you pretty much have to have the stars align all the way around. And when you look at those Patriot teams, there were a few years where, it was maybe 1 or 2 guys leading the way. Like, they always had a solid defense, but offensively, Edelman and Gronk and a no-name running back every year.
Branch,
yeah.
There were a lot of years where Troy Brown was the leading receiver.
Yep. So, I mean, getting there and putting enough wins together to get there is just a pretty miraculous feat in itself.
How many
once
times
you're there, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, how many times did he win it on the road to get there? I'm guessing, maybe 1 or 2?
Not a ton, but I don't have that information in front of me. I know him and Peyton Manning dueled.
One in Denver, right? I think they won the one in Denver. And maybe all the Kansas City 2 years ago, and then I guess this year.
Well, that's a good point. I mean, they were always in just a shit division. You know what I mean?
It helped.
Yeah.
Even Matt Castle, won it, took him within one game of making the playoffs, winning the division.
I mean, if he loses this Super Bowl, he will have lost more Super Bowls than any other quarterback. So I don't know really why we're talking about all this GOAT talk, but
Adam, getting to 10 Super Bowls or winning 6?
Getting to 10. It's unbelievable how someone can do that, because it's not just one team, it's not just one set of players. It's sustained excellence and at the highest level. So I think getting to 10 is harder than winning 6.
Yeah. Anybody have the take that winning 6 is tougher?
There have been 110 Super Bowl teams. He's been on 10 of them. That's a percentage of, 9%, something like that. He's won 6 of 55. So it's, 10%. It's not quite right. A little over that. So percentage-wise, winning 6 is higher, but either way, it's pretty damn impressive.
Yeah, we're splitting hairs because basically there's no other discussion. It's not like we can talk about whether Peyton Manning was better or whether Brett Favre was better or John Elway. There's just nothing else. So, Tom Brady's the greatest, and which of his accomplishments is better? We can leave it up to the audience. Let's talk about that other game, the Chiefs and the Bills.
Yeah. Can we just talk about one last thing though too?
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, it's way too early to tell, but Patrick Mahomes did you see some of his stats that they said that he's never lost a game by more than 7 points?
More than one score. So never.
Yeah.
Yeah, by 8, not by more than 8. Since his sophomore or junior year at Texas Tech.
Yeah, which is pretty crazy when you think about it. Like, they've never had a game where it was just over and the team said, you know what, let's just pack this one in.
Wasn't our week.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
Vikings lose by 30 to the freaking Jets once a year.
Yeah.
Yep. So we are definitely getting there, Max, considering we're about to talk about the Chiefs and the Bills. The Bills got out to a 9-0 run there, and I was thinking, well, maybe they got a little something. Andy Reid just goes full Daenerys Targaryen and just lets the dragons light fire all over that Bills team, just burning them down, up and down the field. Hell of a performance. Phil, what'd you think about that second game?
Here's why I don't own GameStop stock and why I'm not on Robinhood or things like that. My picks for the weekend were the Packers and the Bills. I actually thought the Bills are, I felt really good about the Bills, and then they came out and put up, what was it, 9 points or whatever right away, and I was like, oh shit, this team's looking pretty damn tough. So, but yeah, Kansas City's just better, and Tyreek Hill is way faster than Scotty Miller. And when you can spread it out to guys like Mecole Hardman and Tyreek Hill and, oh, by the way, Travis Kelce, then tough team to beat.
Leave it to the track coach to talk about speed.
Yeah, that's right.
Tim, who's the best tight end that you've ever seen play?
Got to be Kelce, right?
I don't think it has to be, but I definitely think there's a good argument for it.
Who's your other arguments? Probably what? Gronk,
yeah.
Gonzalez, maybe.
Yep.
But
that's about it.
Gonzalez may be more the longevity thing, right? So you maybe hard to argue against them.
That position's just changed so much recently.
The argument would be maybe as Mahomes makes him that good, but then can't you say that about Gronk? And so then maybe Gonzalez, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah,
Kellen
Trevor,
Winston.
Trevor, how do you feel about that question?
Another name that comes to mind for me is Antonio Gates. He was really dominant in fantasy football for a few years. So he didn't maybe have the longevity, but he was really good for a few years.
Trevor drafted him, so he knows.
Refresh my memory, Trevor. Was Antonio Gates more of a touchdown guy, or did he pick up the amount of yards and catches that Kelsey also accumulated?
I would say he's probably more touchdown, but I don't have anything in front of me.
I remember him being like, the basketball jump ball type, and he was a stud.
Yeah. Nobody's
He's a
had
ball
the
hog
yards. Nobody's had
at
the
the
yards
goal
like
line.
Kelsey has. Yeah.
I think he did put up quite a few yards, but nobody had nowhere near the receptions that Kelsey gets, like the targets. I mean, I think he did pretty good for tight ends, right? But it wasn't anywhere where Kelsey gets he gets wide receiver touches.
Yeah. Patrick Mahomes is obviously, just in total beast mode going through this league. What are the odds that he gets to 6 Super Bowl wins, Matt Train? What would we have to give you to bet on it?
You'd have to give me an out for health.
There's no outs.
If you were to give me an out where if he sustains some sort of long-term injury, then I would be out of it. I would probably, I'd probably give you odds, honestly, if I had that out.
Wow. That's a
I'll take
It's a bold strategy,
Mahomes.
Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
I'll take Mahomes. You can take the field.
Okay. Todd, I think your cousin's gone full psycho. What would your odds have to be to bet that Mahomes wins 6 Super Bowls?
Winning 6, that's damn impressive. I don't know. I don't think he's far off, though.
Can I just remind you that this is his 3rd year starting in the NFL, and he is by far the best player. It's not close. Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers were not.
Can you leave the quarterbacks that have 1 Super Bowl appearance out of this?
Okay, then who do you want to choose? I mean, there's nobody else.
Eli Manning.
3 years into the league.
Yeah.
that is anywhere near this level. It's not close.
Drew, what would make you a betting man on those odds?
I'd probably go even money.
You guys are nuts.
Does anyone want to do
I'm a
this
plus
bet?
3,000.
I'll bet
Yes,
$50
let's do
right
this
now.
bet.
I was gonna say, I feel like there definitely should be bets made here.
Maybe.
I'll
I'd
take
do
$50 to somebody. I
I'll
get
go,
the three.
I'll
I
go
get
$50
no.
for even money with an injury out.
Nope. That's part of the game, right?
That is right.
No, that's what I said. This is the bet that I made. This is the statement I made.
Drew said even money with no injury clause. So maybe
All right,
there's
well,
your
you
bet,
can-
Grieve.
You can take Drew then.
Drew.
All right, you're on.
Yeah. All right. Like it. Do it.
Yes.
Book it. Busch League bets.
I mean, I do feel like one of the things that gives you, I do think that's ridiculous. Like that's an incredibly difficult accomplishment. But one of the things that gives you a little bit of confidence is like, it does seem like Kansas City as an organization is doing a really good job, right? And they're making pretty good decisions. They're making pretty good draft picks. They're investing in him and his support staff, or as support players. So it would be
Andy Reid. He's on a 20-year contract.
Yep. So like, I mean, this is not like it's, well, the Vikings or something like that, where it's like, yeah, they're going to fuck it up.
Hey,
So,
easy.
Plus, what's the next wave of quarterbacks that are going to challenge him right now? I mean, he only has a couple of years left of Brady, Rodgers.
It's probably Jordan Love for the Packers.
Another Hall of
Josh
Fame
Allen?
quarterback.
Yeah, Josh Allen. Maybe the only
Tua.
Lamar, maybe, but he hasn't shown that he can.
No way.
Air Bear.
Care Bear.
Air Bear. Justin Herbert.
Oh,
Yeah, just-
oh
I think
yes,
Justin
dude.
Herbert's actually
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Chargers have not ever had
Different.
success. I mean, the Chargers.
Exactly. Like that's exactly. That's my point, right? So put him on an organization like that who shows they can't really get it done, and you don't have a lot of confidence. But here's a team that with 3 years of him has been able to get there 2 years in a row.
Yeah,
I
my
have
only concern is
one thought to the pro Patrick Mahomes winning 6 Super Bowls. He's gonna have to do it with a different coach.
yeah. So I was just gonna bring that up. That's like my only concern is I think it a little bit more thoroughly here is he's got Andy Reid, right? And Andy Reid is an offensive genius, as everybody states. So it's if he ends up retiring in another year or two, then like Tom Brady, I think it's the biggest consistent is having for Tom Brady. He had that consistency for how long in New England, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you have any turnover in Kansas City, you don't have Andy Reid because Andy Reid made it with the Eagles for a couple years there with Donovan McNabb. He just didn't have that closer.
4 straight NFC Championship games.
Right. So I mean, he's been a good coach, right? So it's a little bit of tied together. Granted, Brady just went there with
historically,
Arians.
Andy Reid's been a terrible football coach. He's terrible at time management. He's historically been really bad at making the clutch call at the end of the game.
That's the thing. He just couldn't make that clutch call, right? And it might be because of the team that he had. He had it to its limits already with Donovan McNabb.
So his other thing is Patrick Mahomes takes up 13% of the salary cap or 13.8% of the salary cap for Kansas City. They're not going to be able to keep the star power that they have around him forever. Like they're at probably the peak, and he might only get one more year of having decent players around him or a bunch of decent players around him. So you run into that too. I mean, the odds right now are actually on if he'll win 3 Super Bowls, or they set the line at 2.5.
Especially if they keep winning, to Dave's point, everyone's salary goes up when you have winning teams. So that's a fair point.
For sure. And
Is he more likely to win 6 or make 10?
And Brady's going to be around for like 5 more years, so he's got that.
In the echelon of these top quarterbacks, though, they get paid the big bucks and they don't go away. Like
this
that
is the most.
Like Russell Wilson,
he makes the most
in
money
Seattle,
out of everybody.
Yeah,
like
but
as
it's
a
also-
percentage of the salary cap, his contract is higher than anybody's ever been
Sure, for now.
by like 2%.
Yeah, it's going to go lower though. Cap's
now.
going to go
Right.
up and his number doesn't.
I don't know
Matt,
how
you didn't let these guys talk you off yet, did you, Matt?
No.
It might deal
If
with
you want to bet, I'll go in on that.
Okay.
I'll give you the injury out.
All right.
$50.
You have to
Let's raise
clarify,
it.
like,
This is a
what
long-term
if
bet.
he misses a year for injury? Or does that
That's
be
got
like
great
career
money.
No, it's good. Are we talking career-ending injury?
Or are you talking like
Okay.
torn ACL for a year?
Well, yeah, I don't
no,
know.
it
I
can't
guess
be
we'll have
torn
to-
ACL.
No.
Because Tom
It'd have
had
to
that
be-
happen.
Yeah, it would have to be like but I think
Alex
that if
Smith
it was
injury.
Yeah, or even like a Teddy injury, I think for me would like something that drastically like threatens their career, even if it doesn't end up meaning he never comes back, but something that's I don't know how you define that within the terms of a bet.
So
Can you just
Don't
let
take
the
that.
rest
Don't take that.
let the rest of the league vote on it?
Can we say that would be good, Grave?
There you
How
go, I
about
like that.
32 consecutive games missed?
Fair.
I'd be fine with that. I also like Reeves' idea of letting the league vote on it. But
I think I like that too. As long as if I'm betting against Hartman, I think I like that. Not so much if it's somebody else.
It's hilarious that I'm like plus 3,000 on this bet, and everybody else is like, "Oh, this is even odds."
No, I would take the under on this, but
Yeah.
Same.
I'm just trying to get action.
That's
I got
fair.
horrible odds.
Yeah.
get that on the soundbar,
Get it,
can you?
Yeah.
It's
That's what she said.
it's been rough life at home. We get it, Drew. You
It's
guys want
almost
to
maple
talk
syrup
about
season, Drew.
you guys want to talk about the Chiefs starting offensive line in the Super Bowl? Because I would.
Sure.
Their right tackle, their starting right tackle, was actually an undrafted free agent guard. Their starting right guard was cut by Pittsburgh in November. Their starting center was a 7th rounder. Their starting left guard was a 7th rounder. And their starting left tackle is Mike Remmers, which I think for Viking fans says all you need to say.
Damn, and the Tampa Bay front four is pretty tough, right? And Patrick Mahomes is coming off a concussion.
Yeah, I think we saw how good the Tampa Bay D-line can be when they're all healthy this week. I thought the Tampa Bay D-line in general underachieved this year, but when Pierre-Paul and the other D end, you add in Vita Vea and Ndamukong Suh really trying, and all of a sudden you have a front four that is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we got to talk Super Bowl picks. We've talked the games, we've talked the teams. Greatest of all time against apparently what Matt Train says is the future greatest of all time. Matt, who you got this Super Bowl?
Well, you're not going to be surprised to hear that I don't think the line is particularly. I don't know what the line is, but if it's within 3 points, I'd be surprised.
It was 2.5 to start. I think it went up to 3.5 now.
Yeah, I take the Chiefs. I think that is the best team in the NFL by far. The Bucs defense gives me a little bit of nerves, but still, I'll take Mahomes in that group.
Dave, who you got?
I'm taking the underdog, the Tampa Bay Bucks, 3.5 point dogs. Taking them because I think Tom Brady has learned how to beat the Chiefs defense over the last few years, and he's going to use that to his advantage.
Straight up picking a winner, Grieve. Who you taking?
I'm going Tampa. Last guy to take down Mahomes in the playoffs, right? Tom Brady. Do it again. Actually, and I just don't want Drew to get close to 6. So
that's a fair point. Maxie, who you taking?
I got to take the Chiefs. We were just talking about Tampa has a great defense. Buffalo had a pretty good defense too. They were super legit, and he made them look silly. So I don't know. I don't see a lot there. Plus, Tampa's secondary is really banged up right now, and who's going to cover Travis Kelce?
That's a good question. If Winfield's back, a lot of it'll be on him.
Yeah, if he's back, then that's definitely
he'll be back.
It is fun to see Winfield and Tyler Johnson.
Yeah, we didn't even touch on the Tyler Johnson pass interference play.
Yeah, or the catch the week before that he made.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a great point that Kansas City is going to throw it to 2 guys. Try and stop them.
Yep.
Those 2 guys had like 22 catches last week.
Yep.
And almost 300 yards receiving.
Trevor, who does Easton think's going to win?
He's definitely thinks the Chiefs. He's a big Mahomes fan. So, and I agree with him. I'm maybe not to the 6 Super Bowl mark, but I wouldn't be surprised if he wins at least 4. He's just really, really good.
You want to bet $50?
Mahomes is going to go for $75 next year.
That's what we're learning. Yeah.
Yeah. I would actually be interested to hear what the people who aren't in favor of that think of if Mahomes wins this Super Bowl. If he can win 2 out of 3, do you think he can win 6 out of 15 or however many years he'll be in the NFL?
I would still side on the under personally, but I understand the other side, and yeah, I would still bet under. Todd, who you got straight up? Bucks, Chiefs.
Give me the Chiefs. Too good.
Adam Hartman.
Despite the bet I just made, I think the Chiefs are going to win.
How much money are we betting, Herman?
You got grain money, right?
GameStop.
I got some.
GameStop.
I don't got that
It's
GameStop
easier. You can just put it on the GameStop gift card.
Let's make it 100. It's a long-term bet.
All right, fair.
It is. We're talking 15 years from now.
Yeah, seriously.
Or 7.
Or
Yeah.
Not impossible.
Could be. Could be.
Phil?
Yeah, I still really like the Bills. You know,
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
but no, I was pretty darn impressed by the Chiefs. So I'm not gonna bet against the Chiefs this week or next week rather.
Drew, who you got?
Be a dead horse here. You got the Chiefs. I think Chiefs won the regular season matchup. Same deal. I mean, the Bucks were able to pressure Aaron Rodgers, but Aaron Rodgers, I mean, he can slide. He's pretty smooth in the pocket, but so is Mahomes. He's pretty quick. So, yeah, he's coming off concussion. What, 2 weeks ago? He's got a couple weeks to rest up. I think he'll be full strength.
How many games did the Buccaneers lose since that Chiefs game?
0, I thought, right? Didn't they go 7-0?
0. 0 games. They're doing exactly what a Tom Brady team does.
Since then?
What's that? Phil?
How many did the Chiefs lose since then?
Well, at least 1.
I don't know. They only lost 2 all year, didn't they?
Yeah, right. They're 16-2 on the year right now. So
yeah, let's see.
They lost in week 17 when they rested their starters.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the Chargers.
No, I think it's actually going to be a great game. I'm super excited for it. If I had to bet even money, I would probably pick the Chiefs.
what if you had to bet on the line?
We're going to get there.
What? Okay. All right.
Let's talk a little Busch League 2020 and Busch League awards. We need to hand out a few trophies and put some names up on the website for all eternity.
Yeah, this is a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Derek's idea.
Busch League MVP 2020. The 3 highest players in WAR were Delvin Cook, Derrick Henry, and Travis Kelce. Phil, let's start with you. Who's your vote for?
Travis Kelce.
Drew.
Kelce.
Adam.
Kelce.
Todd.
Damn, you're gonna make me look bad just because I picked him. Cook. Even it out a little bit.
Cook was the number 1 player in WAR.
He was the number 1. Yeah, you don't have to defend that.
No. Trevor.
I'll go Kelce. He's on the best team.
Max.
I gotta go Kelce too. He was on the best team.
Tim.
Yeah, I go Kelce. He's just so much better than any other tight end. That just makes that team so valuable.
It's a wide receiver numbers. You know, that's the thing. It's not like it's just the best tight end. Wide receiver numbers at that position.
Wide receiver 1 numbers.
Yeah. Insane. Like even compared to other Kelce years, I think this year was just different.
Yeah. Dave.
Kelce. I'm a big double tight end guy. I think you could have put him in the flex and had him as a wide receiver.
I think that's a very fair point. Matt?
I'd certainly understand Kelce, but I'm going to stick by my cousin with Dalvin Cook. If Dalvin Cook was on either of those championship teams, it would not have been close. And it basically carried Todd despite the fact that he spent all of his money on Thomas. Michael Thomas, and he didn't play the entire season.
Yeah, that's a talker for another day, by the way. Michael Thomas.
And Dak.
Ugh.
Busch League GM of the Year. John Thompson is not eligible, as he made the worst trade in the fantasy football league this year.
There was some debate in the committee about this, but
Derek, who's your vote
ultimately
for?
agreed upon.
I would have voted for Kelsey. I thought the separation between him and second best at his position were so extreme that I would take Kelsey. If I could have picked one player and done it over, I would have taken Kelsey.
Fair.
Busch League GM of the Year. The three nominees are Trevor Spear, Todd Train, and Adam Hartman. Just a little quick discussion. Obviously, Trevor Easton drafted a championship team. He made enough moves along the way to keep that team relevant and had one of the most dominant regular seasons in Busch League history.
Big pickup with New York Giants guy, whatever his name is.
Gallman
was a big pickup.
Yep. Todd Train, new addition to the league. Didn't personally like his draft, but he just kept tinkering and adding, and by the time the season was over, he had a really good roster. He ended up in the same division as Trevor, and that probably hurt him. Going into the playoffs, having to be the wild card and everything else. Last nominee, Adam Hartman, mostly just straight for his fleecing of John Thompson. But also the fact that he took a team that was universally panned after the first couple weeks, discussing about it being the worst team of all time. And found a way to will the team to the playoffs. Those are the three nominees. Max, we're going to start with you.
I need to hear a little bit more about Todd. How did you win, despite the fact that you lost Dak and Michael Thomas? I mean, Dalvin Cook is good, but he's not that good.
Yeah. Swift carried me quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
That was a solid pick, got to say. Tyler Boyd, I started him every week of the year, except for his bye week, and except for the first round of the playoffs. Big mistake, would have won. So that one hurt me, but Tyler Boyd carried me.
I thought Gibson was huge.
Yeah, Antonio Gibson had a big season for me. I had Thomas on the bench, Dak on the bench, or got rid of him to save room, whatever. Zach Ertz, who I thought was going to have a great year, nothing.
Did not have a great year.
Did not, no. Justin Jackson had a sneaky year for me. After San Diego's running back went down, whoever it was.
Okay. Eckler.
There you go, Eckler. Thank you. So yeah, it was kind of just everyone contributed, and I snuck by a little bit. Frankly.
And then Hartman hit on Derrick Henry, also hit on Justin Jefferson, and then made a couple trades that were really, really big, including timing, getting extremely lucky with timing in his trade with Drew, which ended up working out okay with Drew. I mean, it worked out okay for you in the end, Drew. You were able to hang around long enough that by the time Eckler came back, it was okay. It got you into the playoffs and won you a game in the playoffs.
What was Hartman's record?
6-6, I think.
6-6.
We're all 6-6.
Yeah, we were all 6-6.
You can't give him credit though for Justin Jefferson because that's a Viking and he's always going to pick a Viking no matter what. So I can't give credit for that.
That's a good point.
Yeah, you almost got to knock him for not drafting Dalvin Cook this year. This is the one year that he decided not to draft Dalvin Cook, and he was first in WAR.
But I drafted Derrick Henry, which was
yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
True fan.
I can't remember the trade that Adam offered me. I wish I could remember it. Do you remember it, Adam?
We know
probably
what
had
you're
too many
talking
trade
about.
offers.
We all know what you're talking
Promo.
about.
Yeah.
And I was like, seriously?
That was supposed to be under the table.
I haven't mentioned it to anybody till
You
this
just
day.
did.
So
To the World Wide Web.
till this day.
God,
I didn't mention
every
your
one of
names.
us have been offered that trade before.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
All right. The
I'm ready to
discussion's up
vote.
there.
I'm ready to vote.
All right, Train, you can lead us then.
I'm going with Trevor because obviously he won, so he's got the advantage there. Aaron Rodgers, he drafted masterfully in that. Well, Easton drafted masterfully in that wide receivers were super undervalued this year, and Tyreek Hill was a fantastic value, and DK Metcalf was hitting on a guy that not everybody totally believed in. Darren Waller was a excellent
tight end too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Aaron Rodgers, obviously MVP at quarterback for like no money. He got the pickup with Gallman. He didn't do much on the trade block with us because he didn't have to because his team was freaking stacked. And Mostert, I'm convinced Mostert would have been a freaking 1,500-yard back if he'd have been healthy. Every time he played, he ripped it up.
Yeah.
So
I think that'll be whoever starts for San Francisco.
Yeah, he was
healthy.
He looked really good. So
I was really hoping I could start Mostert my championship week. That way I could say I drafted every single player in my starting lineup, but he was injured, so I didn't.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go Trevor.
Dave.
Trevor.
Max.
Trevor. I got to go with the same thing. Like, he didn't really have to pick up much. He drafted pretty much every guy that he rolled with, and everybody stayed healthy, and he picked the right guys. So I go with Trevor.
Tim?
Yeah, I'm going to Easton as well.
Did Alyssa tell you to say that?
Up high,
I got
down
a script
low.
right here that she's texting.
Drew, who you got?
Yeah, I'd say Trevor, not only because of the championship, but just because of the overall domination. You know, one of the better teams in Busch League history. So,
yeah, no doubt. Todd?
I gotta agree. Trevor, Easton, just domination from start to finish, from draft day till the final roster call. Dominated.
Phil?
Yeah, I've said it several times on here. I don't think Trevor got enough credit this year for the job that he did, and I think it's rare to draft a team that good that you don't have to make a ton of moves, and so I don't think you should necessarily be penalized for that. I think Hartman, you did a great job of making chicken salad out of your chicken shit, and then Todd, I think Todd could be in the conversation for that next category of setting the best lineup and really getting the most out of what he had week in and week out. And I think that's, kind of the job that he did. But I'm going to vote Trevor in this category.
Adam.
So before I say my vote, I think John should be a candidate. Even had he not made that trade, he went to one. Devontae Adams had a terrible championship week. And so I don't think it would have made a difference. That being said, my vote's soup. So,
well, we probably knew that before anybody said anything.
Trevor, I also vote for you. This is a unanimous sweep in terms of GM of the year. That was a great roster you put together, and they had a great season.
That was a pretty cool stat you just said there too, that you almost drafted your entire championship starting week roster. That's pretty awesome, actually.
Oh, good for you.
Busch League Coach of the Year. This award goes to the manager that put together and fielded their best team. For example, last year, I may have won GM of the year. I had the best roster. I was the worst coach and left the most points on the bench in Busch League history, I believe. So do the opposite, basically, and that's what this award could be called. Trevor is again nominated for this award. Obviously, he drafted a great team, but he also picked the right guys to start. John Thompson, as a coach, I think he dealt with the adversity of his general manager not being great, and still managing to put together a championship quality team. And Tim Grieve loses 2 just studs for the season, and somehow squeaks out 4 wins.
Matt, didn't you produce some stats for this in terms of kind of leading most points on the bench, something like that?
Last year I did. I haven't gotten to it this year. The ESPN API is a total bitch to work with, so it takes some time. And
sure.
I will look into doing that again as we.
I would have been like top 2 points left on the bench this year.
That's what happens when you have 2 top 5 quarterbacks on your team for half the year.
He did
every year, baby.
Put together a points left on the bench, like top 10 for players wise.
Yeah.
And so we eliminated a few guys from that. I believe that Dave had a couple. Drew may have. I believe Max did. So there was some guys that were definitely on there. If you were my squad, you had nobody that was really that good to begin with. So,
yeah.
Anybody want to discuss these candidates?
Well, I mean, I'd be happy to share my vote and why.
Sure.
So, I mean, I think I would vote for John in this category, and that's largely because he had a pretty rough go there the first, 3 or 4 weeks of the season, where he was putting up some pretty good points and was getting beat by the top point scorer in the league, if I'm remembering that right, like several weeks in a row.
Yeah.
To the point where it was almost like, so I just feel like in that circumstance, you really have to stay diligent and stay committed to kind of what you're doing in your roster. And he did a good job of that. He knew he was setting the right, even in his losses, I think he was setting the right lineup, and he was just catching bad luck.
Sure. Yeah. Does anybody remember that Vikings trade for Sam Bradford?
Yeah, I do.
That was a little bit like John, the GM. He panicked. He made a trade, but Mike Zimmer navigated through a tough season and coached him anyways. Drew, what do you think about this Busch League Coach of the Year?
Yeah, because I can't remember everybody's team, but I do remember looking at John's team early on, and he was. I just looked week 1. He was team number 2, but got beat by Derek Hartman, who was team number 1. Week 2, he was in the middle and got beat by like team number 2. Week 3, he finally came through. But I remember looking at it like weeks 3 or 4, he would have been the top point getter, but was like 1-3 or 1-4, and everybody's giving him shit, right, for the slow start. But somehow he kept coming back and setting his roster, and he panicked, but still was able to get through it. So I'll lean John as well.
2 votes for John. Matt, what do you think?
I don't think it's Trevor, because when you're stacked, it's, like picking the starters when your team is stacked from start to finish just doesn't warrant this specific award. Obviously, it warrants a totally different award, which we already determined that Trevor won. I like Grieve did a really nice job of hanging in there, and his team, even early on, when he faced some injuries, he hit on Josh Allen, and John Brown was a good connection with the Bills that he had going early on, and then it just he just got put into a tough situation. So I think Grieve did a really good job. I don't know if he should win this award because he was the worst team in the history of Busch League.
Could have been worse. Could have been worse.
You finished the worst, but you're the best coach.
But I mean,
GM let me down. Coach was good.
I would guess that
No,
was
your
the most.
athletic trainer let you down.
Yeah, that's true. We fired that medical staff.
I think that the injury dollars lost on that team has got to be by far the most. I just can't imagine that is close. So he had to go. I mean, and John did do a nice job managing his lineup. He freaking started Naim Hines half the freaking season and got and started him at the right times, which chaps my ass because I spent.
Matt hates Naim Hines so much. I love it.
So I'm gonna I guess I gotta go John too. I probably would pick Grieve if his team wasn't so bad. Just can't win when you're that bad.
Dave Pike.
I coached him to 4 wins.
You did.
Which is more than a lot of us thought you were going to get. So
Me too. True. I was 4-5 at one point, and I was like, I don't even know the names of these guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna go John. This is so uncharacteristic of John of starting the right guys at the right time. Like
Absolutely.
Historically, he's been the guy who leaves 60 points on the bench. And this could also warrant like a comeback coach of the year too. Because like I said, traditionally over the last 5 years, he's been so bad at leaving points on the bench and having the wrong lineups in at the wrong time. So kudos to him for putting it together this year. Don't know what the change was, but glad he was able to make it. And maybe next time he'll be here to accept his award because I'm going to guess we get there.
Max, how do you feel about Busch League Coach of the Year?
The one question I had, did Grieve draft McCaffrey? That was one of your guys, right?
Yeah, I spent like 90% of my salary on McCaffrey.
That was a really stupid draft when you think about it, because he's been dominant for the last 3 years in a row, and a running back just can't do it for another year in a row. So I would say that right there X's you out of the year.
No, that's
He played in 3 games, and I won 4. And I won 3 of those games he played in.
That would be the GM, Max. So we're talking coach.
True. You're right. Yeah, you're right. I gotta go with John. I mean, normally he overthinks everything and definitely drops the ball, but this year he somehow came through.
Trevor?
Yeah, I mean, I have a little bit of a hard time voting for John just because I think of like when Tom Thibodeau was the Timberwolves GM and coach. It's like if you suck at GM, your job is also the coach. You can't blame another person. That they're both you, right?
It's true.
But I don't want to vote for Grieve because his team was terrible, and I won't vote for myself. So I'm going to vote for John.
That's a fair reasoned argument. Todd, who you got?
That was well thought out. First off, have we done a welfare check on John since Busch Bowl?
No,
Is he alive and well?
I will say,
we might want to do that.
If John would have started the right lineup he would have easily won him a championship. So, it should be pointed out.
That up.
We're still gonna vote for him, huh?
It wouldn't have even really been close. I was waiting for that.
Yeah.
No, I gotta see.
Yeah. This is tough. I could see the argument for all 3. Sorry, Grieve. Your team shit. You were projected 12th to start the season on draft day. You lost a lot of your draft money in the first 4 weeks of the season. And you still
GM's fault, not coaches. GM's fault.
You had 3 more wins than I think most of us thought you were gonna.
I was 2-0.
Where?
Yeah. But I'd still probably vote for John Thompson.
It's easy to start the right guys, Grieve, when your running backs are Barkley and McCaffrey. Not going to give you a lot of credit for that.
Adam, who you voting for?
Before I say, I think it's funny how Max criticized the McCaffrey pick because McCaffrey's typically a Max guy.
I think it was Chelsea.
That's why I didn't go this year.
Yeah.
I wanted him, I would have grabbed him.
How wise you are. and how you're trying to lowball him for next year.
Oh, I
Look
wish
out
we
for
could
such
see.
guys.
I wish we could see a
Guarantee he ends up on
timeline.
Max's roster.
Yeah, draft day. Max was like, "God damn it, Grieve."
No, that is actually the one thing I'm proud of this year. I'm like, I'm not going after McCaffrey. I'm like, he's done me too good for too long. He's not to stay.
So, my vote's actually Grieve. He was going to make a playoff run, and then those injuries at the GM are to blame. Derailed that. So I think he made some good decisions, and not his fault, not the coach's fault.
Yeah, my personal thought was if this was a regular season award, then John Thompson should get it. I don't know if it's regular, full season, postseason, everything, but John's start-sit calls in the championship game lose this award for me. And so I was actually going to go wild card with Tim Grieve as well, because that was not a good team that you had for
that was pretty terrible.
About 10 weeks of the season. And to manage 2 more wins out of that, not bad.
So part of a coach's job, right, is to motivate, not give up. I think I should win the award for not giving up. I had 0 trade assets. I could have quit on week 3 and say, F this.
I offered you multiple.
It's fair.
Multiple, did you, like 3 or 4 to 1 for McCaffrey, and you would not budge.
Yeah, I offered you. I offered you something on McCaffrey too.
Yep.
You got
holding out, and then when he came back, he tore it up for like 30 points, and then never played again.
Your GM was terrible. Terrible.
In John's defense on the championship too, I mean, yes, in hindsight he made the wrong decisions, but he started the Steelers against
Robbie Anderson was my big beef.
I guess, but you're starting Antonio Brown over him. I guess. But
John
like Antonio
said
Brown
in like week 6 that he was going to start Antonio Brown and he was going to win a title.
Yeah, that's true. But aside from that, I mean, Antonio Brown had not been like this monster prior to that either, and Robbie Anderson kind of had been. So I don't know.
But also, if you go back, the championship game was shit, 84 to 82 or something like that. I mean,
did y'all listen to the podcast covering that? It was the pillow fight Busch Bowl.
Yeah.
It was worse than a matchup between me and Grieve.
I don't disagree.
I scored 165 points in the last week.
Oh, good for you.
163.
7th place game, Matt.
What's that?
How'd that do for you in the 7th place game?
I won the consolation bracket. Thank you very much.
Oh, good for you.
Turns out that doesn't exist.
This was just like when New London Spicer went to the state tournament in 9th grade, and we were in the toughest bracket. We were in the toughest. Stop, Derek. No. Okay, then you walk away. And we lost in pool play because we had a tough pool.
How do you mute him?
and then we came out in the C bracket and literally ran everybody off the court.
It's true.
Class C state champs.
No big deal.
By like 30 points a game. By like 30 points a game.
I would be interested to see the starter point efficiency for this year. And,
I'll put it together. I'll put it together and I'll put it on Slack and I'll probably put it on the website too.
I like that Derek actually did take a break. I saw him walk into another room, so I think he's going to the bathroom.
I'm sure he's going to the bathroom.
Yeah. Trevor was there. Dave was there. Hartman was there. No.
Yeah, it was done.
No, you were not. You were still BLH at that time.
Yeah. That was the summer between schools for me. So.
We sat our 2 best players on the bench for most of that championship run.
Yeah.
Just crushed it.
Damn, I would have got to play a lot.
we got put. So there was like a lot of metro schools there, and I think we were in the C division out of A, B, C, and D, I think. And there was Orono B team, I think, and they're like, they go and look at we were standing right next to them, and they're looking at the brackets after all the pool play is done. They're like, yes, we played New London Spicer. They're easy.
It was Osseo.
And then we
Cool story,
humiliated
Hansel.
them in the C
Thanks,
bracket
Olaf.
of the state tournament.
We
I've been talking this whole time, Derek. Didn't notice you were there.
not only did we beat them, we started the game on a 25-0 run.
Yeah, that's right.
One last comment. I think like the marquee play of that tournament was full court press. Dave Pikus steals the ball, outlet pass to Matt Train for a layup. That happened.
That was it. That's all we did.
Yeah, it's probably the best tournament of my life. I scored a lot of points, and they're all layups.
Let's talk about the Busch League Comeback Owner of the Year. That award goes to the dumpster fire himself, Drew Vogt. I think that one was fairly obvious. Unanimous committee decision. Didn't need to leave that one to a vote. Drew, congratulations.
Well, thanks, guys. we're back, baby. I don't know if it's a compliment or, Grieve, you got something to shoot for, bud. Hopefully I'm after you next year.
We'll talk afterwards. Give me your secret.
You've sucked for a long time, Drew.
Yeah, I can't, you just got to follow your heart,
Jesus.
Shoot for the stars.
All right.
At least
Play the
this
music.
year
Get
you
him on the
draft
stage.
are.
What'd you do different, Drew?
Drafted better?
No. Picked up
Didn't
James
have a
Robinson
kid.
for-
James Robinson,
No.
yeah.
James Robinson.
It had nothing to do with your draft.
Didn't have a kid, wasn't building a house anymore. I don't know. Actually, pay attention a little bit.
Don't
You
tell
got
me about
it?
the pain. Just show me the baby.
There you go.
Was able to work from home.
A lot of time spent on the internet. And even then, I got lucky as all hell. I ain't gonna lie.
Didn't draft from a car.
Knew the draft time.
Classic Drew.
Showed up.
All right, get down.
Yeah, but just think though, because that last week, I got, like I said, lucky as hell that Derek crumbled, which pushed me in.
Yeah. Epic meltdown. One of the worst of all times.
Who'd you play that game?
It was.
Well, it didn't matter who I played. I only needed to score like 80 points. I
And you
scored 60.
60.
Not good.
Intimidation.
That must have been it.
A little bit of skill, a little bit of luck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, recipe for success.
Stifling defense.
Phil, are there any changes in store for 2021 Busch League?
Yeah, I haven't. I think there were a lot of changes in 2020 to a certain degree, just because of the nature of the year, right? So, I would suspect a little bit more normal of a season. I think next year, I do think we've settled on some sort of last place, quote unquote punishment. Sounds like what we have kind of been talking around. Is and we'll have to, I'll be happy to open this up to the group, but we've talked around some sort of, I think we all liked John's idea of picking up trash on the highway, so some sort of activity like that. But also I think that there should be some sort of buyout. If you don't want to do it, you can you contribute X amount of dollars to the charity of the champion's choice or something like that.
Sure. Yeah.
In
And we're
whatever.
talking last place in the regular season, correct?
So that's what we
Yeah.
need to work. That's what we need to work out. How do we want to do that? I don't love the consolation bracket idea. So is everybody kind of agree on that? Just last place regular season would be the league loser.
Yes.
That's Grieve, right? All right,
Thanks, Todd.
Well, but that
this
yeah,
would be
but that
based on record first.
Yep. And then points scored.
Tiebreaker being
Second.
points scored.
Yes, I agree. And that did not apply this season. That was stated earlier that this would not apply this year, but this will be something that'll be worked in.
Yeah.
Next.
I just wanted to clarify for John Thompson in case he ever listens to this.
He's definitely not
right.
going to.
You think he's going to be in that wheelhouse, Derek?
He's got a future in the basement. Just saying.
Coach of the year. That's coach of the year you're talking about.
The GM doesn't always set him up for success.
Well, no, I appreciate you guys being pretty flexible and easy this year, which was kind of a weird year. But as it turned out, from a fantasy football perspective, I didn't think it ended up being all that cumbersome navigating the COVID stuff. It was weird because when we were initially thinking about the season, I think I was expecting there to be a lot of players that would miss. I wasn't expecting them to handle that by canceling games the way that, or postponing whole games the way they did. I was suspecting if somebody got, COVID, then that player would be out, but the game would go on. And the way it was handled was somebody on the team gets COVID and then that game gets postponed. So
if the NFL
Or
would
letting
have said,
two
we'll
or letting
postpone
two QBs
games.
play.
Sorry, Max, go ahead.
Or letting two QBs play.
Yeah.
What a shaft on that one.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
That
Well,
was
bad.
Yeah.
I prefer the NFL would have said games will happen no matter what. No games will be canceled. And we could have adjusted accordingly, especially early on and even towards the end with the Steelers-Ravens getting delayed like 8 days
Yeah.
or whatever. Like, just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. Like, it would have been nice just to know, like, it will happen just whenever it will.
I think it's just hard because no one wants to take any bold stances, right? Because
Especially Roger Goodell.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So hopefully next year will be a little bit more, quote unquote normal, and I suspect that it will be. So.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Let's do a little Super Bowl Busch League or Busch Light. Your Kansas City Chiefs are 3.5-point favorites on the money line right now. I bet Tampa Bay will cover. Would you say that's
Busch Light
or
Busch League?
Dave?
Busch Light. That's the good one, right?
They're covering.
We've only been doing this.
It's only our
I
fourth
think
year.
they cover all day, every day.
Tim Grieve, you voted the Bucks to win, so I'm guessing you're saying cover.
Yeah.
Trevor?
Busch League, Patrick Mahomes is way too good.
Fair enough. Max?
Busch League.
Adam?
Busch League, a lot of points going to be scored.
Phil?
Yeah, Busch League, it's close for a while, and then Kansas City kind of runs away with it a little bit.
Todd?
Busch Light, Brady's the champ. He's going to keep it close. It just won't be enough.
I agree. Drew?
There was 3, so can I say push?
3.5.
3.5. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So then I am going Busch Light because I think it'll be a 3-point game.
Yeah. The odds of players score. Who scores the first touchdown of the game? At plus 650, I am putting my money on Travis Kelce scoring the first touchdown of the game. Would you say that's
Busch Light
or
Busch League?
Tough to say. Don't give me I don't know the odds of the other guys. I like Leonard Fournette a lot right now.
Sure.
Tampa Bay seems to like him a lot, and they run the ball well. Especially Brady has always been in offenses that run the ball well. But I don't know what his odds look like compared to Kelsey's.
Yeah, I think Leonard Fournette was the third best odds. Kelsey and Hill were the highest, and I believe that Fournette was third. Drew, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's maybe CH or one of the backs running it. I don't think it'll be that electric right away. It'll be more of a plotting, get it close, punch it in either way. So I don't think I'd put an odds on a running back either way.
My favorite part about the Chiefs is if they're at the 1 yard line, it is not a guarantee that it's going to be straight up the middle. They might shovel pass it in. You know, they might throw a fade. They might do an end around. You just don't know what you're going to get. Todd, what do you think? Busch League, Busch Light, Travis Kelce, first touchdown.
I'm with you on the shovel pass. Those are pretty slick, but I got to think the Bucs have a way to stop that early on in the game. That's got to be game planned for. So I'll say Busch League. Somebody else will get it.
Yeah, Busch League, right? It's either Kelsey or the field is essentially what you're saying. So
yep.
I'll take the field.
Adam?
Busch Light. I think Kelsey's got as good a chance as anyone, so I'd take those odds.
Max?
I feel like Busch League. I feel like Kansas City always picks like some random guy to get the touchdown. Like they let their superstars bring them down the field, but some random guy scores the touchdown. I feel like
Pringle.
Yeah.
It's not impossible. Yeah. Trevor?
Yeah, I agree with Max.
Tim Grieve?
Yeah, kind of agree with Max. Got to play the odds.
Dave Pikus?
I'm going to go Busch League. I think Tampa Bay gets the ball to start the game and they score the first touchdown.
I mean, you're calling the coin flip. All right. Also a prop bet, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Next one. The first scoring play of the game. To me, I really think that this game is going to be high scoring. I think there's going to be touchdowns. We're not settling for field goals. I say the first scoring play will be a touchdown. It is minus 240 odds, by the way. First play a touchdown. Would you say that's
Busch Light
or
Busch League?
Tim Grieve?
Busch Light. Just cause.
Max?
Busch Light. Most of the first drive is scripted, and I bet they get in the end zone. Either one of these teams are pretty good offensively, and somebody's going to get in the end zone right away.
Todd Train?
Yeah, I'll take Busch Light.
Trevor?
I think I'm gonna go Busch League. I think the Bucs have a good defense, and the offenses won't be adapting yet to the defenses. So I think they'll stop the first run and they'll get a field goal.
Adam Hartman?
Busch League. I think there's going to be a defensive turnover first drive of the game, and that's going to give the other team an easy field goal.
Phil?
I think Max nailed it. Busch
Love
Light.
you guys.
See you, Max.
Bye. All right, Phil.
Oh, yeah. I said Busch. What was that? Busch Light. I think Max nailed it. Offenses are scripted there early in the game. I think you got the two best quarterbacks in the game, and one of them finds a way to get a touchdown.
Dave, what's your take on this one?
Brady to Evans touchdown.
Specific.
All right.
Matt Train?
I guess I'll take odds have got to be against a touchdown. So I guess I'll take that.
Are very heavily in favor of a touchdown.
As opposed to nothing? Or as opposed to anything else besides a touchdown?
First score of the game being a touchdown.
First score of the game is either going to be a field goal
score.
or a touchdown.
Yeah.
Safety.
All right.
Safety.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take a touchdown.
I found this one incredibly interesting. The longest touchdown of the game. The over under is 45 yards.
Jeez.
They are both teams that can strike from a distance. I say it's going to be over 45 yards. Would you say that's
Busch Light.
or
Busch League.
Adam? Let's start with you.
It's over. High potent offenses. Someone's going to strike from farther than that.
Dave, how long is
Busch.
that Mike Evans touchdown going to be?
47 yards.
Very specific. Drew, what you got?
Yeah, I guess I'm looking at the odds. They're the same, but
They're exact. It's over under. So
Yeah, right.
I had to pick a side for
That's
Busch
true.
League, Busch Light.
Yep.
And
I'm
so
gonna
I
go.
say over.
I say over. Yep. Whatever that ends up being, light or league, I can't
Busch
remember
Light.
now.
Light.
Light.
Derek, do you happen to know if the Bucks or the Chiefs scored a touchdown longer than that in the NFC and AFC championship games?
I do not have that information in front of me, so I would guess that it was longer, but I'm not sure. How long was Hardman's? Or did he get tackled at the one?
Yeah, he didn't
it
get the
was-
touchdown.
Yeah,
He got
'cause it was
just a
short,
long. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So maybe the Chiefs were shorter, but what was Scotty Miller's touchdown? That had to be right at the 40, 45
I think it was
yard
39.
line. 39.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, this is why Vegas is smart. You got an answer for us, Grief?
I think I go less. Just because what you just said.
Yeah.
Vegas is smart.
Trevor?
Even though what you just said, I'm going to argue the opposite of Greed because he's probably going to be wrong. And I'll go with more.
Always a good strategy. Todd, what do you got?
Damn, that's convincing, Trevor. But if everyone else is saying over, then I'm going to take the under.
Bill?
We've already established the two fastest players in the league are Tyreek Hill and Scotty Miller, so I'm going to take the over.
It's a good point. Matt?
Under.
I have
Busch
a
League.
two more Busch League, Busch Light. I got the first halftime song.
Who's singing?
The Weekend.
The Weekend.
Yep, The Weekend.
The who?
The odds-on favorite are Blinding Lights, but the only Weekend song that I really knew when I listened to them was Starboy, so I'm picking Starboy. Would you say that's Busch League?
You don't have any samples as like a refresher or anything?
What's that, Grief?
You couldn't play any like clips or anything as a refresher, so I can get an idea. Like,
If we
No.
want our
in that
podcast to get
situation.
shut down, then yes, we can.
Yeah,
play
we'll get
all
kicked
of
off of
them.
YouTube if we do that.
All right.
Blinding Lights is the one that's like in the commercials right now.
It is.
Yeah, no, they're all like
Somebody
humming or
could
whatever.
sing it, right?
Gotcha.
That'd still be okay.
As long as they don't
Bill?
sing it too good.
I believe that
And
Blinding
for less
Lights
than
is
15 seconds.
And for less than 15 seconds, yeah.
Yeah, I believe that Blinding Lights is actually you have to give a little bit to get those odds because of the commercials, I'm guessing.
Matt, you tried out for choir, right? You could sing it for us?
I did try out for choir. Hold on. Harbin, I think you and I fell in the same boat on that one, actually.
We sure did.
Yeah.
It wasn't a tryout class. It was supposed to be sign up class. They made Matt and I try out, and neither one of us made it.
Anybody big Weekend fanboys here?
I've never heard of him.
No, but his face looks fucking weird now.
Did he get surgery or what? What did he do?
Supposedly. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Last one. The Weekend changes his wardrobe.
Oh, for sure.
In the last 5 Super Bowls, the performer has changed their wardrobe. there has been a lot of female performers. We have a male performer. The odds are that he will not change his wardrobe. If you are betting that he does, it's plus 155, but I say that he does. Would you say that's
Busch Light.
4?
Busch League.
Does that count like taking off a jacket?
Mm-hmm. I was wondering that
I don't
too.
know that that would count. I feel like you got to change your, either change your jacket
Right.
or change your undershirt.
I'd say he collabs with so many other people that it'd be pretty easy for him to have somebody else on the stage there for a little bit to go change.
Kind of
and then come
Bruno
back on.
Mars-esque.
Right.
Yeah. Dave, how do you feel? I feel like you're a great weekend mind.
I'm going to go. He does not change. I think that what they do is kind of, I don't know. I think it's going to be just fine. He's not going to change. He'll just bring other people out or whatever they're doing to stay socially distant.
I should have
Type
asked,
deal.
will he have a mask on?
No.
No. You can't cover that new face.
No. He's been tested.
All right.
I like that this podcast has covered stock advice, wardrobe changes, fantasy football, and regular football.
We do a little bit of everything here at the Busch League podcast. Talking Busch.
Talking Busch is what we're called.
I do have a very special moron of the week for you guys.
What an idiot! Oh, what a loser! Good. Good. More for me and you. Man, you are one pathetic loser. You're a moron.
Who's this imbecile? I wish I knew.
Put up your cram hole in the floor.
Could it be anybody else? Matt LaFleur, what are you doing? Why? Why would you take the ball out of Aaron Rodgers' hand? What are you doing? Everybody, when that play happened, was like, no, you go for it here. The 12-year-olds playing Madden were yelling at him. Like, it made no sense at the time. It makes even less sense afterwards. Matt LaFleur, you are a complete moron.
Yeah, I think especially the case being that, like, if it seems like the less safe choice in terms of taking ridicule. You know what I mean? Like, it just feels like coaches will gravitate towards the more traditional approach. But when you got Aaron Rodgers, I just don't know.
Well, again, I think what Max alluded to, which I didn't look into, but when you look at the statistics, right, that by kicking the field goal, your percentage of winning actually increases. So we got to kick the field goal. Yeah, but a lot of that shit doesn't take into account who is on the field, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you have Aaron Rodgers on the field.
Tom Brady on the other
and then you have Tom Brady
Brady
on the other side. Exactly. So it's
Right.
like, if you give the ball back to him, you ain't getting it back, most likely.
Good. Makes me happy. Suck it, Packers.
Delicious. That's all I have this week. Any thoughts to close?
It's fun having.
I have one.
Dave?
Go ahead, Matt.
I was just gonna say it's fun having everybody on.
Mm-hmm. Just wanted to say, a lot of rumors going around about our favorite football coach, and he ain't going anywhere. So fuck you, Matt. Fuck you, Grieve. Everybody else.
You got a scoop there, Ficus?
Oh, it's all just been. He said today he wasn't interested in the Tennessee job, so not going anywhere.
You're not rowing his
Also,
boat
Daniel
elsewhere?
Falele back at back in school, back at practice. So offensive line is going to be put together next year. Last thing, Matt's own Christine Hagedorn was the COVID tester for the Gopher football team this year. So kind of fun there. The more you know.
Why are we learning about this now?
Thanks, Olaf. I was getting inside information all season. You just didn't listen. The more you know.
Woo!